everybody, and welcome to another episode of Late for the Party on Anchor FM. I am your host, Melodious. Man, oh man, oh man. Man, it's been such a busy week. By the time I got to my off days, man, I was so off the radar. I just needed as much sleep and rest as possible. Oh my goodness. So I managed to catch up a little bit on playing a little bit of, the PS4 since I've now got one, and I've gotten a couple of games, especially fighting games, that I've been pretty interested in. And I must say, the balance and everything on these set games are awesome as hell. But you know what? The main ones I'm going to talk about, because, the ones I'm going to talk about later on are going to be basically about the one I'm going to stem from the most, which is basically the Street Fighter series. Now, honestly, on a humble, if anybody who knows me, I'm a fighting game head. If anything, the fighting game stemmed for me with Street Fighter. Me having the 30th anniversary collection, and also having Street Fighter V Arcade Edition, as well as Ultra Street Fighter 4. Now, ultimately, I have pretty much all of the Street Fighters all available at my disposal right now. So, honestly, let's just say it like this. Street Fighter is probably one of, if not one of the best fighting games I've played in quite a long time. Now, make no mistake, there's a lot of video games out there that are really that are on par with it. Which made names for themselves. Pretty much Tekken, King of Fighters. Guilty Gear. The list goes on. But you got to go to the granddaddy of them all. The one that stood the test of time. Honestly, for all the Ryu knockoffs and everything else, if it wasn't for the man with the headband and everything else, dude, there wouldn't be a Liu Kang, there wouldn't be a Soul Bad Guy, there wouldn't be a lot of folks, there wouldn't be a Chun-Li if there was, there wouldn't be a lot of folks. There wouldn't be a Jago from Killer Instinct. Hell, man, when you look at it, there wouldn't be a Katsumi from Dead or Alive, because there wouldn't be if Street Fighter never happened, there wouldn't be a Chun-Li. Chun-Li's the first lady of Street Fighter, of fighting games, to tell you the truth. So, with that staple, that's saying a lot. And considering the fact that I just been playing so far I've been playing the latest installment, which is Street Fighter V Arcade Edition. Now, don't get me wrong, it's been out for at least it's been out for at least since last year. So, and since Street Fighter V, I know they made a couple of mistakes. And when Street Fighter V Arcade Edition came out, they tried to do everything in their power to correct those wrongs. Because, aside from, how can you be a fighting game without a story mode or an arcade mode is totally beyond me. But it's now those trends, since Killer Instinct, they were only giving you a handful of people, and then a couple of months they would bring out another guy. And I don't knock the idea of what they're trying to do, but I actually like having a completed video game at my disposal. I don't know why this has been the latest trend, but just looking at how all video games have all these games have add-ons or DLC, and back in the day when you had a Nintendo or a Genesis or even a PS4 or a PS2 or a PS1, or like a Dreamcast or a Sega Saturn or anything like that, or a Nintendo 64. There's no good and hell well, like you ain't like finishing like you wouldn't have they would not sell you an unfinished game. And I feel like most of these games, especially if you gotta go that route to like get this extra person for like $5 or something like that, which is kind of sad to me. But but I mean, if the game's worth it, then people will buy it. I mean, that's why, like, I'm kind of on the fence about it. Like, I'll get the complete edition of the games before getting a new, like, getting it like right from the from its manila copies and everything. If it's not complete, I'm not buying it. But ultimately, when we're talking about Street Fighter 5, I mean, it took me a while to get a PS4, but I'm definitely waiting to get the whole thing. And honestly, on a humble, this shit is off the hook. It is awesome. Like, it's even like for me, I've been pretty balanced when it comes down to playing fighting games. So, I have my techniques and everything, which, I mean, technically I'm a little rusty, but I can still get down on the sticks. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm pretty versatile when it comes down to like certain characters. But actually, I don't mind how Street Fighter has balanced, like Street Fighter 5 balanced most of their characters out very well, to where most of them, yeah, it can be complicated, but it's still accessible to learn the characters. Because back in the day, Street Fighter was hard as hell to learn certain people. Like, I couldn't get Guile down to save my life, dude. Like, it's not like how his Sonic Boom, it's like his Sonic Boom, you gotta hold back and then shoot forward, you know what I'm saying? It's not like how you doing the Hadouken where you rolling it up. That shit is kind of hard. I ain't gonna front, especially doing this little somersault kick, his flash kick and everything. That shit was hard as hell, man. Like, Guile was always one of my hardest characters to use in Street Fighter. Now, I mean, I'm starting to get a little comfortable how his dynamic is, because like most of the characters in Street Fighter, they have the roll, like the down roll to the forward momentum now. So I guess it just makes it easier to do combos and whatnot. So I mean, shit, it's actually fun, dude. Like I said, like, you guys get down with me on the sticks on that for real. Like, I am down. I will use Nash, and I will get down on the sticks with y'all. So hit me up on PlayStation Network, Coverboy127. So I mean, straight out, man. Like, but it's one of those games that holds the test of time for me, because like, we wouldn't have a lot of games out there. We wouldn't have a Mortal Kombat. We wouldn't have a Marvel vs. Capcom if it wasn't for Street Fighter. You gotta pay homage to the king, because it's like, there wouldn't be a fighting game genre if it wasn't for Street Fighter. I mean, don't get me wrong, there was games out there like side-scrollers, Renegade, Bad Dudes, Double Dragon, but when it came down to a fighting game, like, one mano a mano, character fighting another character, like, player 1 versus player 2, or player 1 versus the comms, like, Street Fighter started that whole genre, like the very first Street Fighter. I remember that shit. And it's funny to me, because like the two games that come to me in my heart as a kid, and I give props to my dad and my uncle Mike, my godfather. It's like, because San Vicente and freaking Hauser was like the spot for me to actually get down on the games that I love the most. Like, Punch Out. My dad took me over there, and I remember, the play, when Punch Out was there, and I remember my uncle, he wound up chilling out with me the whole day because Mike and I believe my dad or something, I don't know if it was dad or my brother Mike had to go he went to a Dodger game, so, but then I couldn't go, so Uncle Mike had me chilling with him, and we wound up going to 7-Eleven off of Hauser and San Vicente, and my first experience was playing Street Fighter. So, and there was a couple of games there. It was Street Fighter and Road Blaster. So, played both of them, but then I started getting down with Street Fighter, and I didn't know how difficult that game was. I mean, hell, even playing on the arcade, the 30th anniversary collection of it, that shit is hard, even on the 6 that I'm playing on right now. That shit is hard as hell, because it's so delayed and everything. So, we're talking about games that were created back in the day just off of the mechanics of being hard. You had to know the routine of the computer in order for you to beat the villain. So, I mean, I don't know who in the world has played the first Street Fighter and got unscathed, who made it out of the game with a perfect round without getting hit not a once. But kudos to that guy if they ever graced this podcast. So, but yeah, man, Street Fighter 5 is off the hook. I got all the new characters. Hell, and that was a fun fact. GameStop definitely has a fucking problem when it comes down to not knowing what the hell's going on. And don't get me wrong, I can't really blame the person behind the counter if they're brand spanking new, if they're fucking kids, if they don't know what the hell that they're doing, or they just don't flat out care. But what happened was, when I first purchased Street Fighter 5, I was actually trying to get Street Fighter 5 the arcade edition, but the guy gave me the original Street Fighter 5. Now, the difference between the two is that the arcade edition is the latest version with all the characters from Season 1 and Season 2. So then, the new season, which is Season 3, you have to either earn 6 other characters by going through survival mode or going through the individual stories, and which doesn't take very long, but achieving the fight money, you can earn the characters in game or you can buy them on DLC. So I mean, I'll give props to them for doing it that way, because at least you have the option to either grind it out and play the game, or if you just want to cut to the chase and just get the characters, you can buy either the season pass, which is $29, but I think it was on sale to where I got it for a little cheaper online, which was probably dropped it to maybe to 19 or something like that on PlayStation Network. And or you can just just play at your heart's content until you get all the characters, which honestly it will take a long time, because it took me almost to get through everybody's story in Season 1 just to get one character. So yeah, you're going through And all I had to do at that point was go through season 2 just to get one more character. That's just ridiculous. I think they made it overly hard. But my thing is that GameStop, they gave me the wrong copy. They gave me the original copy, which only, when you get the game, there's only like 5 people. There's only like maybe 7 characters you could play with, which is ridiculous to me. I'm like, whoa. That's why I was talking about earlier that, you know, when Street Fighter V first came out, they brought it out at the time to where the game felt incomplete. So, yeah, that wasn't a good look on that behalf. So, yeah, man. So my thing is that, you know, GameStop just, you know, they're just, I mean, eventually to me, I think they're going to go down. They, from what I know, they got hit pretty hard on sales. And to me, I think, honestly, GameStop got a better chance to just close down the stores and pretty much sell games online. I think that's the only way that'll save their ass. Because right now, at this rate, just going inside the store and everything else is just, yeah, it's not a good look. Because it's like they're treating their employees like, you know, third rates. Like, you know, they're not getting paid very well. They only get young ass kids. They obviously don't care. I mean, you know, and I think they work dickish hours, and, you know, especially when the holidays come rolling in, and it's like you're not getting paid enough to even deal with all that extra crap. So, sorry to say it, but either way, man. But yeah, man, they screwed up that. They gave me the wrong copy, and I wound up taking it back because I was like, oh, I'm not going to grind this damn hard. I'm not going to wait this long just to play these many characters. And also keep in mind, I'm still learning my PlayStation 4. So there's a lot to it that I'm still trying to, like, get the gist of. So, but, you know, but, I mean, the game is off the hook, though, man. But, like, you know, playing my boy Sagat, you know, the Muay Thai King, the god of Muay Thai. Like, I'm glad that he's back. I'm glad they put him back in the game. You know, like, I got some good mainstays in the game, which is awesome as hell. So, but yeah, my goal eventually one day would make it to EVO just to be in the competition, just to see if I could even make it. That would be off the hook, you know, to win the grand prize of, I believe is what, $50,000, you know. EVO is in Vegas, so, I mean, you know, but there's so many other games available to play, which honestly, it's like, there's so many options, but Street Fighter still holds the test of time to me. I mean, it's one of the main reasons why I like fighting games so damn much. I mean, and there's some good games out there. I mean, make no mistake, NetherRealm has done well for itself with the latest installments of Mortal Kombat and everything. And probably one of the things that I can say that, to me, that Street Fighter V and the Street Fighter series definitely needed help on is the story modes. Definitely the story modes, because it's like there's a lot more to the characters. Like, you know, you got a whole collage of characters that has so much detail with their stories in general. Like, you know, like they could have done way more with the whole Charlie / Nash situation, especially with him dying and coming back, resurrecting him. And, you know, he's one of my favorite characters. Like, even before he was, like, right before I used him, before I started using Guile. So, but there's a lot of story with that. I mean, you know, a couple of my mainstays is like Ryu, Sagat, Nash. There's a lot of things about the game that, like, you know, I'm really down for. Even Balrog I like using. And so, yeah, man, it's dope, dude. Get down on it. Like, the game is only like $19, even at GameStop. And I believe it's like $39 if you buy it online. It might be even cheaper, I'm not sure. But if on the PlayStation Network, it could be a little cheaper. But yeah, dude, get that shit. Get it. It's worth every penny. You know, get down with, like, bring your friends and chill out. Go online, play with some assholes online and beat the living crap out of them on this game. It's off the hook. So, you know. Yeah, pretty crazy, huh? But yeah, there's so much shit. Like, I'm still just, like, getting down with all the other games that I have. I mean, that I've just been getting. Like, there's just so many. Like, not many that I purchased, but I know, like, the ones that I'm mainly trying to use or trying to get. Like, for instance, you know, like Injustice 2. You know, like Injustice 2, which is awesome as hell. Like I said, Injustice 2, I got Injustice 2 and Mortal Kombat XL. Like I said, dude, like, NetherRealm has really starting to come up, like, in the ranks of, like, trying to be the best fighting games of all time. Like, I mean, they're really pulling out the stops. I mean, just with the stories and, like, I mean, and that's what I like about NetherRealm in general, but it's like, their games, their fighting games, although, like, Mortal Kombat is, like, very ultra-violent. So, I mean, I haven't played Mortal Kombat 11 yet, but all I know, I've heard that game is very, very good. I have talked about the controversy of Mortal Kombat with one of the characters, Jax, his story ending on one of my previous episodes. But, honestly, it's like, but it's a well-balanced fighting game, even with the mechanics that it has. Same goes for Injustice 2, which I got both Mortal Kombat XL, which is the collector's edition, and Injustice's Legendary Edition, where you got all the characters, all the DLC, and that's cool to me, because it's like, at least once they start developing the whole DLC, and then once they're done with their seasons or their DLC packs and all that, then they make the conscious effort to create, like, getting the complete edition. So you're not just like, I mean, because don't get me wrong, that shit gets a little pricey after a while, but, you know, I guess they're not all on the whole Overwatch thing to where, like, you know, they'll update a character for free before they, like, but they'll hit you in the pocket, or you gotta earn your loot boxes if you want to get, like, the extra costumes and everything else. Yeah, man. Huh. But, yeah, man, like, it's just, like Injustice 2, even though, like, and that's another thing about Injustice 2, like, the take on a bad guy Superman, a villain. Superman is the villain. Like, I haven't even seen Brightburn yet, but if you want to get down on any story about anything with Superman going rogue, or like, you know, like Kal-El just said fuck it and just got the mentality of Magneto, read Injustice or play the Injustice game. Both games are actually on sale too. Well, it was on sale, but you know, getting the Legendary collection on both systems or on PlayStation Network, dude, worth every fucking penny. So I recommend getting that game. That shit is off the hook. I mean, the DLC characters are awesome too. You got Hellboy, and you got the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So, oh, and another fun fact too, if you want to play with the Ninja Turtles, you have to switch out the loadouts. So, like, when you switch loadouts, you have to, like, when you switch colors, you have to switch their, in order to play an individual character, you have to put their loadout with their weapons. So, like, you know, you got Leo's the main one that you're using, but if you want to use Raphael or Donatello or Michelangelo, you got to switch out their weapons in order for you to use them. But you got to put them in the individual loadouts. And the sad part is there's only 3 loadouts you can use for the Ninja Turtles. So you gotta choose out of 3. So pick don't use your least favorite. So so either way, man, it's a dope game too. Story is off the hook. It takes place right after the events of the first Injustice. So it's dope. I mean, you know, Batman's the main the main protagonist, while Superman is the main antagonist with his regime, his faction. Which honestly on a humble, like, they say Wonder Woman, like, you know, Wonder Woman is a bitch, dude. Like, when she's a villain, when they write her as a villain, she is a straight bitch. Like, up in freaking, like, I remember watching Flashpoint Paradox. Like, she was a bitch in that. And it's like, dude, like, she's a straight bitch. Even in this game. It's like, wow, like, hardcore, cutthroat, and, like, no diplomacy. When she wants to go warrior princess on your ass, she will fucking do that shit. And, like, it's just, like, some heinous shit. Like, for real. But, yeah, man, like, bottom line, sorry, I'm, like, just kind of, like, kidding on my way to work and everything, and it's just, like, man, I'm seeing fire truck after fire truck on, like, each and individual street. I'm like, what the hell's going on here? But, yeah, man. But, yeah, Injustice 2 is off the hook. Like I said, the extra characters, the DLCs, my favorite characters in that game. And I love how the characters' power sets. Like, Adam is the shit. Like, the Adam, like, he can shrink, grow, all of that, and make, like, like, YouTube that shit. The shit is off the hook. You know, Black Mana's off the chain. Freaking, who else is actually dope in that game? The Ninja Turtles are dope too. You know, of course, Superman, Supergirl's in the game as well. You got Darkseid as DLC, which, honestly, you got the big crumple face dude. Like, he's just so awesome. The Omega Beams is off the hook. Like, one of my favorite villains in comic books is, like, with, like, Thanos and Darkseid. Those are, like, my favorite villains. You know, you got Red Hood. You got, when you get Raiden from Mortal Kombat as a DLC, you have the skin of Black Lightning. So, like, that's cool. I switch out Raiden with Black Lightning, and they give him the ability to, like, he has all lightning abilities like Raiden does, but, it's good to see a different face on it. That's actually kind of cool. I actually don't mind that kind of concept. And they give, and he speaks, he doesn't talk like Raiden. He's got, I don't know if it's Chris Williams playing the voice of him or not, but it's dope. It's actually dope, man. I don't mind it. If you want to play Power Girls, skin over Supergirls, you got that. You can do that too. So, but either way, it is going to be off the hook. But I actually like playing the games. The games are off the chain. Alright, but so now I made it to my destination, so I am going to cut this off and cut it to a close. But yeah, y'all, please like, comment, share, subscribe, and support the podcast. This is the In My Mind segment on Late for the Party. I am your host, Melodious, aka Coverboy, aka Bald Bull. And as always, y'all, it's okay to be late for the party, but never ever be late for the fun.